Welcome back, traveler, to Restless Historian, where we wander slowly through the quiet stories of the past, letting their rhythms guide you toward calmness and rest. Before we continue, I'd love to know, from where in the world are you watching tonight? Take a moment and settle in. If you enjoy these journeys through history, consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel so you won't miss the stories yet to come. If you wish to support this channel further, you can find me on Patreon, where your support helps me create more historical journeys and improve the content you love. Tonight, we return to our exploration of how people healed themselves in ancient times. This is the second part, where remedies become more intricate, rituals more elaborate, and the pursuit of wellness takes on new forms. Take a deep breath, relax your body, and let your mind drift. Listen carefully as the stories unfold, and allow the calm rhythm of history to carry you gently through each chapter, one by one. As we move gently from the routines of daily life and preventive wellness into the subtle, resonant world of sound, let us allow ourselves to be immersed in the ways ancient civilizations used music, rhythm and vibration to heal, calm and align the mind, body and spirit. Picture a serene temple hall, a forest clearing, or a courtyard at dawn, where the air is cool and filled with the faint hum of natural sounds, leaves rustling, water trickling, birdsong in the distance. In these spaces, music was not mere entertainment. It was a carefully calibrated tool for restoring balance, focusing awareness, and harmonizing energy. The ancients understood that sound in its many forms could penetrate both body and mind, guiding breath, releasing tension, and attuning subtle energies in ways that words or touch alone could not achieve. In ancient Egypt, the therapeutic use of sound was woven seamlessly into spiritual and ritual practice. Imagine a patient reclining on a mat in a quiet chamber, dimly lit by flickering oil lamps. The healer or priest gently strikes a series of small drums or clay vessels, each producing a deep, resonant tone that vibrates through the room. The vibration is felt not only in the ears, but in the chest, limbs, and even the subtle awareness of the body's internal rhythms. Soft chants accompany these tones, the melodic rise and fall of voices blending with the reverberating hum of instruments. The scent of incense, the warmth of gentle oil on skin, and the tactile sensation of rhythmic drumming converge into a multi-sensory, immersive experience. Each beat, each resonance draws attention inward, slowing thought, aligning breath, and fostering a meditative state. Ancient Egyptians believed that such vibrations could restore harmony to the body's energies, dissolve tension, and connect the patient with divine forces, creating a profound sense of calm and spiritual alignment. In Greece, music was considered essential for both emotional and physical health. Deeply entwined with philosophy and medical theory, picture a courtyard in Athens, sunlight dappling the mosaic floor, where a healer guides the patient through listening to lyres, flutes, or the soft striking of percussion instruments. The delicate, flowing melodies are carefully chosen to resonate with mood and temperament, a concept closely aligned with the ancient understanding of humors. The patient breathes slowly, the rising and falling tones of music harmonizing with the natural rhythm of the body, while the faint smell of olive oil and herbs in the air creates a sensory cocoon of calm. The ancients observed that certain modes or tonal patterns could induce relaxation, focus, or even mild euphoria, enhancing the body's ability to heal. Music here was a bridge between emotion, mind, and physiology, a gentle guide leading awareness inward and aligning subtle energies for restoration. In India, sound and vibration formed a central part of Ayurvedic and Vedic healing. Imagine sitting quietly in a temple at dawn, sunlight streaming through latticed windows onto smooth stone floors. The soft resonance of bells, gongs, or the vibration of chanting fills the air, each tone vibrating through the body and settling the mind. Mantras, repeated rhythmically, guide breath and attention, creating an immersive environment where the body responds physically to vibration while the mind enters a reflective, meditative state. Herbal oils, massage, and ritual gestures often accompany these sound-based therapies, producing a multisensory experience that integrates touch, scent, and vibration. The gentle, repetitive resonance cultivates deep relaxation, aligning muscles, breath, and subtle energy flows, demonstrating the ancients' intuitive understanding that sound is a pathway to holistic health. In China, music was closely connected with qi, yin, and yang, and the balance of internal energies. Envision a patient reclining on a mat in a quiet room, sunlight filtering through bamboo screens, while a healer plays stringed instruments, flutes, or percussion in carefully timed sequences. Each tone resonates with particular organs or meridians, following principles derived from centuries of observation and practice. The soft vibration of instruments combined with gentle tactile care, herbal poultices, and mindful breath guides the patient into a state of reflective calm. Even the simplest sounds, a bell, a chime, the rustle of leaves, are harnessed intentionally, their frequencies and rhythms influencing mood, breath, and circulation. Here, sound is not only an external stimulus, it becomes an internal companion resonating through tissues, nerves, and energy pathways, aligning mind, body, and spirit in subtle yet profound ways. In Mesopotamia, the therapeutic use of music and vibration was intertwined with ritual and ceremonial observances. Picture a clay-walled chamber filled with the aroma of crushed herbs and oil, the low hum of drums and lyres accompanying chants to deities associated with healing. The vibration of instruments is felt in the floor, in the chest, and through the subtle awareness of the body, guiding the patient into calm, reflective focus. Herbal poultices, gentle touch, and ritual gestures accompany the auditory experience, creating a fully immersive session. Ancient Mesopotamian texts describe carefully orchestrated sequences of sound and movement designed to restore balance and ward off illness, demonstrating a sophisticated understanding of the interconnectedness of sensory experience, ritual, and physiological response. Even in tribal and nomadic societies, the healing power of sound was central to communal and individual well-being. Imagine a clearing in a forest or near a river, the air fragrant with wild herbs and smoke from ceremonial fires. The gentle beat of drums, the hum of rattles, or the melodic voice of a healer or shaman fills the space. Participants are guided to breathe with the rhythm, observe the subtle vibration through muscles and joints, and engage fully with tactile and olfactory cues, soft mats or animal skins beneath, herbal poultices applied to sore areas, and warm sunlight or fire heat on skin. Music and vibrations synchronize attention, release tension, and cultivate a reflective, meditative state. Even in societies without written records, the understanding of auditory influence on mood, energy, and physiological alignment was keen, demonstrating an instinctual recognition of sound as a conduit for wellness. Across these civilizations, several common threads emerge. Sound, music, and vibration were never isolated as entertainment. They were embedded in holistic practices, integrated with touch, herbal remedies, ritual gestures, and sensory engagement. The careful orchestration of tone, rhythm, and resonance guided breath, focused attention, and aligned subtle energy. The ancients observed that certain frequencies could calm the mind, relax muscles, harmonize emotions, and even influence the flow of internal energy or humors. Music and vibration became a bridge between the tangible and intangible, between the physical body and the reflective mind, guiding both into states conducive to healing and restorative calm. Consider a modern parallel: the gentle resonance of a tuning fork, a slow vibration massage, or soft ambient music in a wellness session. Even without conscious awareness, the body responds to rhythm, tone, and resonance. Breath slows, muscles release, and subtle energy aligns. Ancient wisdom lives on in these practices, reminding us that sound is a tool for mindfulness, restoration, and holistic care. Just as the soft beat of a drum or the hum of a gong guided an Egyptian, Greek, Indian, or Chinese patient into reflective calm, modern sound therapy, music, meditation, and mindful listening harness the same principles, translated across centuries into new forms. Imagine yourself lying quietly in a dimly lit space, eyes closed, feeling the soft vibration of a gong, the gentle hum of a bell, or the rhythmic pulse of drums. The sensation flows through muscles, tendons, and joints, aligning with breath and subtle awareness. The faint scent of herbs, the warmth of a blanket or oil on skin, and the filtered sunlight or gentle lamplight create a full sensory environment. Each auditory cue guides attention inward, slowing thought, relaxing muscles, and harmonizing energy. This is the living legacy of ancient sound healing, immersive, reflective, and deeply calming, offering a pathway to mind-body-spirit integration. Across cultures and time, music, sound, and vibration have consistently served as tools for preventive care, therapeutic intervention, and reflective alignment. They complement touch, herbal remedies, ritual gestures, and mindful observation, creating multisensory environments that cultivate presence, calm, and restorative health. From the resonant temples of Egypt, the courtyards of Greece, and the meditative halls of India and China, to the communal gatherings of Mesopotamia and tribal forests, the ancients understood sound as a profound medium for both body and mind. Modern practices, from music therapy and meditation to vibrational healing, carry forward these timeless principles, reminding us that wellness is a continuous dialogue between sensory awareness, reflective attention, and harmonious alignment. As we conclude this chapter, carry with you the gentle resonance of ancient sound healing. Feel vibration flowing through muscles and tendons, softening tension and guiding breath. Allow auditory, tactile, and olfactory cues to draw attention inward, slowing thought, calming the mind, and aligning subtle energy. Music, rhythm, and vibration are not merely external stimuli. They are companions, guiding presence, reflection, and restoration. In this quiet, immersive awareness, the wisdom of ancient civilizations continues to speak, offering profound lessons in mindfulness, preventive care, and holistic alignment. In the next chapter, we will explore the therapeutic use of water, baths, and hydrotherapy in ancient civilizations, delving into the sensory richness, ritual significance, and restorative properties of water in human wellness practices across time. As we move gently from the resonant world of sound and vibration, let us now allow ourselves to be enveloped by the timeless, soothing presence of water. Imagine a quiet stream gliding through a sunlit valley, or a stone bathhouse warmed by morning light, the air filled with the subtle scent of herbs, minerals, and steam. Water has always held a special place in human consciousness, not only as a source of life and sustenance, but also as a medium for cleansing, healing, and restoring balance to body and mind. In ancient civilizations, bathing was far more than a practical necessity. It was a deeply immersive ritual, engaging the senses, inviting reflection, and supporting holistic wellness through temperature, movement, and sensory experience. In ancient Egypt, baths and hydrotherapy were integral to both physical health and spiritual practice. Imagine a royal or private bathing chamber, walls of limestone warm under filtered sunlight, a gentle ripple of water flowing into a stone basin. Water is drawn from the Nile infused with medicinal herbs such as lotus, myrrh, or cinnamon, its warmth soothing muscles and relaxing tense tissues. The patient reclines, allowing the gentle current to flow around the body, each ripple brushing against skin, inviting presence and reflective calm. Oils and ointments are applied before or after immersion, enhancing tactile sensation and nourishing the skin, while the faint aroma of incense curls through the warm, humid air. Soft chants or whispered prayers guide breath and attention, transforming a simple bath into a multisensory ritual that aligns body, mind, and spirit. Even the act of pouring or sprinkling water becomes deliberate, a meditative gesture reinforcing presence, sensory awareness, and restorative intention. In Greece and Rome, baths were central to public and private life, serving both social and therapeutic purposes. Picture a sunlit courtyard of a Roman therme, steam rising gently from a heated pool, the faint smell of olive oil, herbs, and warm stone filling the air. Citizens enter the bath, moving slowly through progressively warmer pools, feeling the sensation of water on skin, muscles releasing tension under the gentle pressure of movement and buoyancy. Skilled attendants or healers apply oils, herbal poultices, and soft massages, synchronizing touch with the natural flow of water and breath. The sound of flowing water, distant conversation, and soft footfalls creates a meditative environment, while the tactile sensation of water against skin, warmth enveloping muscles, and subtle shifts in buoyancy guide awareness inward. The ancients understood that immersion, alternating temperatures, and the rhythmic flow of water could restore energy, ease muscular tension, and enhance circulation, forming a sensory-rich, reflective practice of preventive and therapeutic care. In India, water rituals and hydrotherapy were seamlessly integrated with Ayurveda and spiritual practice. Imagine a quiet riverbank or temple tank at dawn, sunlight glinting off calm water, the faint scent of medicinal herbs and flowers in the air. Gentle immersion or ritual sprinkling is accompanied by reflective observation of breath and posture, while herbal infusions, poultices, and oil massages enhance tactile and olfactory engagement. Soft chanting or rhythmic recitation guides attention, synchronizing breath with subtle movements in water. The temperature of the water is carefully considered, cool streams to invigorate, warm pools to relax, while gentle currents and submersion foster sensory awareness and meditative calm. Each element, touch, sound, scent, temperature, and visual observation, intertwines, creating a holistic experience that engages body, mind, and spirit. In China, hydrotherapy was closely linked with the flow of qi and the balance of yin and yang. Imagine a quiet courtyard with a stone pool, water warmed by sunlight or heated naturally, herbs floating on the surface, and soft incense in the air. Immersion is carefully guided. The patient observes breath, posture, and subtle bodily sensations, while gentle movement in water stimulates circulation and aligns energy. Buoyancy allows muscles to release tension, and the tactile pressure of water against the skin provides sensory cues for reflection and mindfulness. The ancients noted that alternating water temperatures, slow movement, and herbal infusion could restore balance, calm the mind, and harmonize internal energy. Hydrotherapy was not simply a physical treatment but a meditative practice, engaging multiple senses in a rhythmic, reflective alignment of mind and body. In Mesopotamia, water was central to purification, ritual, and therapeutic care. Imagine a courtyard with stone basins or clay baths, water flowing gently from channels or aqueducts, infused with herbs and warmed by the sun. Patients are guided through immersion, gentle splashing, or slow movement, feeling water ripple over skin, muscles relaxing with each touch. Aromatic herbs and oils are applied before or after baths, enhancing sensory engagement and deepening reflection. Ritual gestures accompany the therapy, from symbolic washing to chants or prayers, reinforcing the meditative and spiritual aspects of wellness. The ancients observed that water could cleanse the body, align internal energies, and cultivate calm awareness, illustrating a profound understanding of sensory integration and reflective practice. Even in nomadic or tribal societies, water was central to daily wellness and preventive care. Picture a stream flowing through a sun-dappled clearing, the sound of gentle ripples harmonizing with birdsong, the faint scent of earth and herbs in the air. Daily immersion or ritual washing is combined with gentle massage, poultices, and reflective attention to posture and breath. The tactile sensation of water, the rhythmic flow of immersion, and the sensory cues of temperature, movement, and sound create a meditative environment that aligns body, mind, and spirit. Even simple acts of cleansing or bathing become rituals of mindfulness, fostering restorative calm and preventive health. Across these civilizations, several common principles emerge. Hydrotherapy was always multisensory, integrating tactile, olfactory, auditory, and visual cues. Temperature, movement, and the flow of water were carefully considered to optimize muscular relaxation, circulation, and sensory awareness. Immersion and gentle submersion provided subtle pressure and buoyancy, easing tension and facilitating reflective observation of breath, posture, and energy. Ritual and ceremonial elements, chants, gestures, or offerings further enhanced the meditative experience, linking wellness with reflective attention and spiritual alignment. The ancients understood that water is more than a physical medium. It is a conduit for sensory awareness, reflective calm, and restorative care. Consider the modern parallels: hydrotherapy in spa treatments, warm baths infused with herbs or essential oils, guided flotation, or aquatic physical therapy all echo ancient practices. The sensory awareness of water against skin, the warmth or coolness of immersion, the rhythm of breath, and the reflective engagement with sound, scent, and temperature create an environment of restorative calm. Even without conscious thought, the body responds. Muscles soften, breath deepens, subtle energy flows, and the mind enters a meditative state. Ancient knowledge continues to guide these modern experiences, reminding us that wellness is as much about sensory engagement and reflection as it is about physical treatment. Imagine yourself now lying quietly in a warm bath, sunlight filtering through a window, faint scent of herbs curling in the air, gentle vibrations of water lapping against skin. Muscles soften, joints release tension, and subtle energy aligns with breath. Each ripple, each temperature shift, each olfactory or auditory cue draws awareness inward, slowing thought and guiding reflective calm. Water becomes a companion, a medium through which body, mind, and spirit reconnect, mirroring the meditative immersion practiced by civilizations across time. From Egyptian temples and Greek thermae to Indian river rituals, Chinese hydrotherapy, Mesopotamian purification baths, and tribal immersion practices, water was recognized as a tool for preventive care, therapeutic intervention, and meditative reflection. Immersion, temperature contrast, tactile pressure, and sensory observation were intentionally combined to promote calm, balance, and holistic wellness. Modern spa, therapeutic, and aquatic practices are living legacies of these ancient principles, demonstrating that the integration of sensory awareness, reflection, and water-based therapy is timeless and universally restorative. As we conclude this chapter, allow the presence of water to settle within you. Feel gentle warmth or coolness along the skin, the soft pressure of immersion, subtle shifts in muscles and joints, and the rhythmic rise and fall of breath. Notice faint scents, soft sounds of water, and filtered light around you. Each element guides attention inward, slowing thought, releasing tension, and aligning body, mind, and spirit. Water, in its quiet, flowing presence, continues to offer restorative care and reflective calm, a bridge between ancient wisdom and modern mindfulness, a timeless reminder of the sensory, reflective, and holistic nature of wellness. In the next chapter, we will explore the role of diet, nutrition, and medicinal plants in ancient healing practices, connecting the knowledge of herbs, grains, and natural remedies to the sensory-rich, meditative approach to preventive and restorative health across civilizations. As we move gently from the calming embrace of water and hydrotherapy, let us now turn our attention to the profound and subtle world of nourishment, where ancient civilizations cultivated health and longevity through diet, nutrition, and the wisdom of medicinal plants. Imagine walking slowly through a sunlit garden or courtyard, where the air is fragrant with the scent of fresh herbs, ripening fruits, and earthy vegetables. The soft hum of bees moves lazily among blossoms. The rustle of leaves in the breeze creates a soothing rhythm, and sunlight filters through branches, warming the soil and the small patches of vibrant green. In this quiet, sensory-rich space, we begin to appreciate that ancient healing was not limited to touch, sound, or water. It was intimately connected to the very food people ate, the herbs they harvested, and the daily rituals of preparation, consumption, and mindful engagement with the senses. In ancient Egypt, diet and medicinal plants were carefully intertwined to promote balance, longevity, and vitality. Picture a family preparing the morning meal in a modest but orderly kitchen, sunlight spilling through narrow windows onto polished stone counters. Grains are ground into fine flour, their texture warm and slightly coarse under fingers. Vegetables are washed and chopped, releasing subtle fragrances of leafy greens, onions, and garlic. Fresh fruits, dates, figs, and pomegranates rest on woven baskets, their skins smooth, firm, and fragrant, promising sweet nourishment. Herbs such as coriander, cumin, and fennel are crushed between fingers or in stone mortars, their aromas rising and mingling with the warm air. Ancient texts describe not only the nutritional properties of these plants, but also their subtle effects on the body's energies and temperament. The act of cooking is deliberate. Ingredients are combined in measured proportions, boiled or roasted with care, and seasoned with aromatic spices that stimulate digestion and invite mindful attention. Each bite, each inhalation of scent, each tactile sensation of preparation is a moment of reflective engagement, aligning the body, mind, and spirit with the rhythms of life. In Greece, the philosophy of diet was deeply intertwined with medical theory and the understanding of humours. Imagine walking along a sun-dappled path to a small kitchen or apothecary, the air alive with the mingling aromas of herbs and cooked grains. The patient or healer carefully selects foods to balance the humours: cooling cucumbers, warming lentils, bitter greens, sweet fruits, and olive oil in measured moderation. The subtle crunch of fresh vegetables, the silky smoothness of grains, and the aroma of roasted nuts create a sensory tapestry that engages touch, taste, and smell. The ancients understood that foods influence not only the body, but the temperament and mind. A careful, mindful approach to selection and preparation cultivates reflective awareness, digestive harmony, and emotional balance. Meals are prepared slowly, observed attentively, and eaten with deliberate attention to flavor, texture, and satiety, integrating sensory richness into preventive health and restorative care. In India, Ayurveda offered an intricate system linking diet to the balance of doshas, seasonal changes, and individual constitution. Picture an Ayurvedic kitchen or courtyard garden at dawn, soft light warming the leaves of medicinal herbs, the subtle scent of turmeric, basil, and ginger filling the air. Each ingredient is carefully chosen to harmonize with the body's internal rhythms: warming spices to stimulate digestion, cooling fruits to pacify excess heat, grounding grains to nurture stability. Herbs are crushed, teas steeped, and oils infused with subtle fragrances. Each movement, the firm but gentle pressing of herbs, the rhythmic stirring of grains, the delicate pouring of warm herbal decoctions, is deliberate and meditative. The patient observes not only taste and aroma, but also subtle sensations in the body, aligning intake with breath, posture, and awareness. Meals are not merely nutrition. They are reflective practices nourishing both body and mind. inviting slow engagement with the senses and cultivating long-term harmony and preventive wellness. In China, diet and medicinal plants were carefully integrated with the principles of yin and yang and the flow of qi. Imagine a quiet courtyard with clay jars of herbs, woven baskets of grains and small bowls of vegetables and fruits, each selected for its energetic property. Tea leaves, ginseng, chrysanthemum and ginger are infused in warm water, releasing aromas that guide breath and attention. The patient sips slowly, noticing subtle flavors, textures and warmth spreading through the body. Each ingredient is believed to influence specific organs, balance internal energies, and support digestion, circulation, and vitality. Meals are prepared mindfully, eaten with deliberate awareness, and accompanied by gentle observation of body sensations and energy flow. Ingesting food becomes an act of meditation, where tactile, olfactory, visual, and gustatory senses harmonize with reflective attention and subtle energetic alignment. In Mesopotamia, grains, fruits, herbs, and spices were carefully chosen not only for sustenance but also for preventive and restorative purposes. Picture a sunlit courtyard or kitchen where wheat, barley, dates, figs, and herbs are sorted, ground, and combined. The texture of flour slipping through fingers, the sweetness of crushed fruits, the faint aroma of cumin, coriander, and thyme, and the warmth of the sun on skin create a multi-sensory environment that nurtures attention and reflection. Medicinal plants are infused into teas, pastes, and poultices, complementing diet with subtle healing properties. Families and healers alike observe digestive comfort, energy levels, and emotional temperament, connecting nourishment directly to preventive wellness. The act of preparing and consuming food is both practical and meditative, engaging the senses fully while fostering awareness, calm, and resilience. Even in nomadic or tribal societies, diet and medicinal plants played a crucial role in wellness and preventive health. Imagine a sunlit forest clearing or riverbank where berries, roots, herbs, and hunted game are carefully prepared over small fires. The texture of soft fruits, the scent of roasted roots, the warmth of cooked grains or meat, and the tactile engagement of cooking with hands cultivate mindfulness and presence. Medicinal plants, crushed leaves, infused teas, or poultices are used not only for treatment but as preventive measures, supporting digestion, energy, and immunity. Daily gathering, preparation, and consumption of food become rituals of reflective engagement, linking survival, sensory awareness, and preventive wellness in an intimate, meditative rhythm. Across these civilizations, common principles emerge. Food and medicinal plants were never considered purely functional. They were carefully selected, prepared, and consumed with attention to sensory engagement, energetic balance, and reflective mindfulness. Taste, texture, aroma, visual appeal, and temperature were all observed, creating multisensory experiences that supported digestion, vitality, emotional balance, and subtle energetic alignment. Herbs, spices, fruits, grains, and medicinal plants were incorporated not only for their physical properties, but also for their effects on mind, temperament, and spirit. Each meal became an opportunity for slow engagement with the senses, reflective presence, and preventive care, a living meditation of nourishment. Modern parallels echo these ancient practices in the form of mindful eating, herbal therapies, nutritional medicine, and integrative wellness practices. Drinking herbal teas slowly, noticing subtle flavors and aromas, selecting foods for balance and energy, and engaging tactile senses during cooking are all contemporary extensions of ancient wisdom. Even in busy modern life, slowing down to prepare or consume food mindfully engages sensory awareness, aligns breath and posture, and cultivates reflective calm. The ancient principles of diet, nutrition, and medicinal plants remind us that nourishment is a practice, a multi-sensory and meditative journey that shapes both body and mind over time. Imagine yourself now in a quiet kitchen or garden, handling fresh fruits, herbs, or grains. Feel the texture between fingers, inhale subtle aromas, observe colors and shapes, notice gentle warmth or coolness, and sense how each movement guides breath, posture, and attention. Preparing a simple meal or a herbal infusion becomes an act of mindfulness, a ritual of restorative care. Each sensory cue, taste, smell, touch, and visual observation draws attention inward, slowing thought, aligning energy, and fostering harmony between body, mind, and spirit. This is the living legacy of ancient dietary and botanical wisdom, food and plants as tools for meditative nourishment, preventive care, and reflective alignment. From Egyptian kitchens and Greek courtyards to Indian Ayurvedic gardens, Chinese herbal repositories, Mesopotamian households, and nomadic forest clearings, the ancients demonstrated an understanding of nourishment that integrates sensory engagement, reflective presence, and holistic wellness. Herbs, spices, grains, fruits, and vegetables were not merely sustenance. They were instruments of alignment, meditation, and preventive care. Modern dietary and herbal practices continue this legacy, reminding us that every mindful act of preparation, observation, and consumption can cultivate calm, resilience, and restorative health. As we conclude this chapter, allow the knowledge and presence of plants, herbs, and food to settle within you. Feel textures, aromas, and subtle warmth. Notice the gentle rhythms of breath and movement as you prepare, touch, or consume nourishment. Each sensory cue guides attention inward, slowing thought, releasing tension, and aligning body, mind, and spirit. Diet and medicinal plants are not only physical sustenance, they are companions on the reflective, meditative journey of wellness, connecting us to ancient wisdom and the timeless art of mindful nourishment. In the next chapter, we will explore the role of sleep, rest, and mental wellness in ancient healing, discovering how ancient civilizations cultivated restorative slumber, meditative rest, and mindful relaxation as central elements of holistic health. As we move gently from the sensory world of diet, herbs, and nourishment, let us now drift into the quiet, restorative domain of sleep and mental wellness, a sacred rhythm that has nurtured the human body and mind since time immemorial. Imagine a quiet room, dimly lit by the warm glow of a setting sun, where the air is infused with the faint scent of incense, herbs, or freshly dried flowers. The gentle hum of evening, soft wind through leaves, distant water, and the muted rustle of life settling creates a natural lullaby. In ancient civilizations, sleep was recognized as an essential practice, not merely for rest, but for physical restoration, emotional equilibrium, spiritual alignment, and mental clarity. Each evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, the act of preparing for sleep was as intentional and sensory-rich as any other healing ritual. In ancient Egypt, rest and slumber were approached with deliberate care, often interwoven with spiritual observances and sensory rituals. Picture a patient or citizen preparing for the night. Mats or beds of woven reeds or soft linen are carefully arranged. Pillows stuffed with fragrant herbs such as lavender or thyme are positioned under the head, and lightly scented oils are applied to the skin. The warmth of the evening air, the gentle flicker of lamps, and the soft scent of herbs combine to create a cocoon of calm, inviting the mind to release the stresses of the day. As the body relaxes into the mat or mattress, awareness is drawn inward, breath slows and muscles soften. Egyptian texts emphasize that sleep is a bridge between the physical and spiritual, allowing both body and soul to rejuvenate. Even subtle touches, a hand brushing hair, a soft adjustment of bedding become meditative gestures, guiding awareness into reflective calm. In Greece, rest was intertwined with philosophy, observation of the mind, and the balance of humors. Imagine lying on a softly padded couch in a sunlit room where shadows lengthen, the faint scent of olive oil or dried herbs filling the air. The mind is encouraged to release judgment, letting thoughts drift like clouds while muscles release tension in response to supportive bedding and gentle tactile guidance. Sleep was seen as a restorative state, aligning the humors, supporting memory, enhancing emotional balance, and reinforcing mental clarity. Gentle pre-sleep routines, such as sipping herbal infusions, observing slow, intentional breathing, or listening to soft lyres or chants, created a multisensory environment that eased the transition into restful slumber. The Greeks recognized that mindfulness and sensory awareness before sleep directly influenced the quality of rest, emphasizing the integration of body, mind, and reflective calm. In India, Ayurveda emphasized the rhythmic cycle of sleep and wakefulness, connecting rest to doshas, circadian rhythms, and mental wellness. Picture a quiet bedroom or courtyard at dusk, the air cool and fragrant with dried flowers, incense, or herbal oils. Gentle massages, known as abhyanga, may precede sleep, engaging tactile senses while warming muscles, stimulating circulation, and inviting reflective calm. Breath is observed, and subtle attention is given to the alignment of the spine, neck, and limbs. Herbal teas or warm milk infused with calming spices, such as cardamom or saffron, are sipped slowly, engaging taste and aroma in a meditative, sensory ritual. The patient is guided to release thought, soften muscles, and focus inward, allowing sleep to naturally emerge as a restorative process that harmonizes body, mind, and subtle energies. In China, sleep and mental wellness were closely tied to the flow of qi, yin and yang balance, and environmental harmony. Imagine a quiet, dimly lit room, bamboo blinds filtering evening light, with soft mats, blankets, and pillows arranged for optimal comfort and alignment. The faint aroma of herbs, flowers, or incense fills the air, while the soft sound of distant water or gentle wind creates a natural rhythm for the mind to follow. Preparations for sleep often involve gentle stretches, meditative observation of breath, and alignment of posture to encourage the unobstructed flow of qi. Even minor adjustments, positioning the head, supporting the back, or lightly massaging temples become deliberate sensory practices, guiding attention inward and facilitating relaxation. Sleep is not passive. It is an active, reflective state where body, mind, and energy align, supporting mental clarity, emotional balance, and restorative health. In Mesopotamia, rest and mental wellness were closely intertwined with ritual, spiritual observance, and sensory engagement. Imagine a quiet chamber where a small fire or lamp casts a soft glow across walls of clay, the air subtly scented with herbs or resins. The bed or mat is arranged to support comfort and alignment, while the patient or citizen may listen to soft chants, water flowing in nearby channels, or gentle wind outside. Muscles release tension under the gentle support of bedding and tactile adjustments, while breath slows and attention drifts inward. Sleep was understood as a necessary phase of restoration, preparing the body and mind for the day ahead, while also allowing spiritual and reflective processes to unfold. Even simple acts, repositioning the body, adjusting blankets, inhaling herbal aromas, were observed as important cues for aligning mind, body, and spirit in preparation for restorative slumber. Even in tribal and nomadic societies, mental wellness and sleep were deeply connected to sensory awareness, environmental observation, and rhythmic routines. Imagine lying beneath a canopy of leaves or a tent, hearing the gentle flow of a nearby stream, the whisper of wind, and distant bird calls. The faint aroma of herbs, smoke from a small fire, or morning dew lingers in the air. Attention is drawn to breath, muscles soften into the natural support beneath, and rhythmic environmental sounds guide awareness into reflective calm. Pre-sleep rituals may involve simple movements, tactile engagement with bedding or skin, and mindful observation of sensory cues. Sleep is embraced as an essential restorative process, harmonizing mind, body, and energy, preparing both the individual and community for another day of survival, growth, and reflection. Across civilizations, sleep was never considered a passive state. Rather, it was an intentional, sensory-rich and reflective practice. Bedding, pillows, ambient temperature, sound, scent, and tactile adjustments were all carefully observed. Breath, posture, and subtle awareness were guided toward alignment. Mental wellness, emotional balance, and spiritual reflection were cultivated before and during sleep, creating a restorative, meditative process that nurtured the body, mind, and subtle energy systems. The ancients recognized that the quality of sleep directly influenced vitality, emotional equilibrium, and resilience, and they embedded sensory and reflective practices into nightly routines to ensure deep, restorative rest. Modern parallels echo this ancient wisdom: mindful preparation for sleep, adjusting bedding, engaging with calming scents, listening to soft sounds, observing breath, or practicing gentle pre-sleep rituals supports the body's natural restorative processes. Even subtle sensory awareness, feeling the texture of sheets, noticing warmth or coolness, or observing faint aromas, guides attention inward, calming thought and relaxing muscles. Ancient sleep practices remind us that rest is more than the absence of activity. It is an active, reflective, multisensory engagement that restores body, mind, and spirit. Imagine yourself now lying quietly, the body supported comfortably, muscles softening, breath slow and rhythmic, the air scented faintly with herbs or incense. Hear distant water, gentle wind, or muted night sounds. Feel the gentle pressure of bedding, pillows, or mat. Notice temperature shifts and tactile nuances. Each sensory cue invites attention inward, slowing thought, releasing tension, and harmonizing energy. Sleep emerges naturally as a restorative, reflective, and deeply calming process. This is the living legacy of ancient practices, the intentional cultivation of restorative slumber and mental wellness as integral components of holistic health. From Egyptian chambers and Greek courtyards to Indian Ayurvedic routines, Chinese observances, Mesopotamian practices, and tribal night rituals, sleep and mental wellness were recognized as essential to life and longevity. Ancient civilizations embedded sensory engagement, reflective attention, ritual, and environmental harmony into nightly routines, creating a multisensory pathway to restorative health. Modern sleep practices, mindful bedtime routines, sensory alignment, and reflective calm continue this legacy, demonstrating that sleep is an active, intentional, and restorative practice central to holistic wellness. As we conclude this chapter, allow the gentle awareness of sleep and rest to settle within you. Notice the sensations of breath, muscle relaxation, tactile support, subtle scents, and ambient sound. Let each sensory cue guide attention inward, slowing thought, calming the mind, and aligning body, mind, and spirit. Sleep, rest, and reflective awareness are companions on the timeless journey of wellness, connecting us to the ancient wisdom of civilizations that understood the profound importance of restorative slumber for vitality, balance, and inner calm. As we move gently from the restorative embrace of sleep and mindful rest, let us now enter the sacred and reflective realm of rituals, spirituality, and the intricate integration of mind and body in ancient healing practices. Imagine stepping quietly into a temple, a courtyard, or a forest clearing where the air is thick with the soft, lingering scent of incense, herbs, or freshly burned resins. Flickering lamps, sunlight filtering through latticed windows, or gentle streams of morning light create a serene, almost ethereal ambiance. The hum of distant chants, the soft ripple of water, and the whisper of wind through leaves envelop the senses in a calm, meditative rhythm. In these spaces, ancient healers understood that wellness was not merely physical. It was deeply connected to spirit, mind, and the intentional alignment of thought, breath, and energy through ritualized practice. In ancient Egypt, ritual and spirituality were inseparable from healing. Imagine a healer guiding a patient into a quiet chamber, walls adorned with soft carvings of sacred symbols, the faint warmth of sunlight on stone floors, and the aroma of lotus and myrrh floating gently in the air. The patient reclines on mats or cushions, while the healer performs gentle gestures, chants sacred hymns, and applies oils infused with medicinal herbs. Each movement, each sound, each sensory cue is deliberate, carefully calibrated to harmonize body, mind, and spirit. The hum of chanting, the rhythmic brushing of hands across the body, and the tactile engagement with warm oils combine to create a multisensory environment that fosters calm, reflective awareness, and subtle energetic alignment. Ritual is not an external performance. It is an immersive practice in which the patient participates actively, observing breath, posture, and internal sensation, guiding the mind into stillness and reflective focus. In Greece, rituals and spirituality were closely connected to philosophy, observation, and the concept of harmony. Imagine a quiet temple or courtyard, sunlight streaming through columns, the soft sound of flutes or lyres filling the air. Patients or participants engage in gentle stretching, rhythmic movement, and mindful observation, aligning posture, breath, and intention. Offerings of herbs, grains, or oils are prepared carefully. The tactile sensation of crushing herbs, the aroma of incense, and the visual symmetry of arrangements, all enhancing sensory awareness. The act of ritual, be it prayer, meditation, or deliberate movement, is a bridge between mind and body, fostering emotional balance, reflective calm, and integration of subtle energies. Greek healers understood that intentional spiritual practice, combined with sensory engagement, could guide the patient into states conducive to restoration, introspection, and alignment of temperament. In India, rituals and spirituality were intricately woven into Ayurveda and Vedic practice, connecting breath, movement, sound, and intention. Picture a quiet courtyard at sunrise, the air fragrant with flowers and herbal oils, soft mats arranged on stone floors, and the gentle murmur of a nearby stream. Patients or practitioners engage in slow, deliberate sequences of movement, yoga asanas, gentle stretches, and meditative postures, while reciting mantras or listening to sacred sounds. Each breath is observed, each movement is intentional, and each subtle, internal sensation is noticed. Herbal oils, poultices, and warm water may accompany the ritual, enhancing tactile, olfactory, and thermal engagement. The rhythm of breath, the vibration of sound, and the reflective awareness of body and mind combine to form a holistic practice in which physical, mental, and spiritual wellness are intertwined seamlessly. Each gesture, each sound, and each sensory cue reinforces presence, reflection, and integration of mind and body. In China, mind-body integration and ritual were deeply connected to the flow of qi, yin, and yang, and alignment with natural forces. Imagine a quiet, dimly lit space with mats or cushions arranged thoughtfully, bamboo blinds filtering evening light, and the subtle scent of herbal incense in the air. Patients or practitioners engage in gentle movements, mindful breathing, and meditative observation, often guided by a healer or spiritual guide. The tactile sensation of mats beneath the body, the warmth of oils on skin, the subtle vibration of chants or gongs, and the gentle observation of breath cultivate reflective calm. Ritual gestures, placing hands, moving slowly through sequences, or observing symbolic objects, reinforce mind-body awareness. Sleep, nutrition, movement, and meditation are all part of an integrated approach in which body, mind, and spirit are carefully harmonized through deliberate, multisensory engagement. In Mesopotamia, rituals were closely tied to healing, purification, and the integration of spiritual and physical wellness. Picture a quiet chamber or courtyard, water flowing gently nearby, oil lamps flickering softly, and the air scented with crushed herbs or resins. Patients recline on mats or cushions, while healers perform gestures, chant, and apply herbal poultices. Every movement, sound, and sensory detail is deliberate, designed to engage body, mind, and spirit. Rituals, pouring water, touching symbolic objects, chanting prayers, become reflective practices, aligning attention, calming thought, and harmonizing internal energies. The integration of spiritual observance, sensory engagement, and physical care illustrates a deep understanding that wellness is holistic, encompassing the body, the mind, and subtle energetic or spiritual dimensions. Even in tribal and nomadic societies, rituals were central to mind-body integration and healing. Imagine a quiet forest clearing at dusk, the sound of a gentle stream, the faint scent of herbs or smoke, and the soft touch of mats or woven fabrics under the body. Patients or participants engage in rhythmic movement, breathing exercises, and simple meditative chants, often guided by a shaman or healer. Tactile sensation, temperature, aroma, and sound are all carefully observed, creating an immersive, reflective experience. Ritual gestures, placing hands, applying poultices, or moving through symbolic sequences, guide awareness inward, calming thought, aligning breath, and harmonizing energy. Healing is not merely physical. It is an intentional integration of body, mind, and spirit through sensory, reflective, and spiritual practice. Across civilizations, common principles emerge. Rituals, spirituality, and mind-body integration were multisensory, reflective, and deeply intentional. Sight, sound, touch, smell, and subtle energy awareness were all engaged to support restoration, preventive care, and holistic wellness. Gestures, breath, postures, herbal applications, and sacred sounds were combined in deliberate sequences that guided attention inward, fostering calm, reflective presence and alignment of body, mind, and spirit. Healing was understood as a holistic process, and rituals provided a structured, sensory-rich pathway to restore harmony, cultivate mindfulness, and integrate physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Modern parallels echo these ancient practices in meditation, yoga, tai chi, mindfulness rituals, and ceremonial wellness practices. Engaging the senses, observing breath, noticing tactile sensation, following gentle movement, listening to sacred sounds, or inhaling calming scents, supports reflective presence, alignment of energy, and mind-body integration. Even in our contemporary lives, rituals, mindfulness, and sensory engagement create pathways for calm, restoration, and holistic health, continuing the wisdom of ancient civilizations. Imagine yourself now in a quiet space, body supported comfortably, muscles relaxed, breath slow and rhythmic, senses attuned to subtle sound, touch, and scent. Engage with gentle movement, observe posture, notice tactile cues, and allow subtle energy to flow freely. Each sensory detail, each intentional gesture, each reflection of breath and attention draws awareness inward, calming thought, aligning mind and body, and inviting restorative presence. Ritual and reflective practice become companions, guiding holistic wellness, deep relaxation, and mindful alignment. From Egyptian temples and Greek courtyards to Indian Ayurvedic halls, Chinese practice spaces, Mesopotamian chambers, and tribal clearings, rituals and spirituality were central to the integration of mind, body, and spirit. Deliberate gestures, sensory engagement, sacred sound, and reflective attention created immersive pathways to wellness, cultivating calm, balance, and alignment. Modern practices continue this legacy, demonstrating that rituals, mindfulness, and spiritual engagement are essential components of holistic health and reflective restoration. As we conclude this chapter, carry the awareness of ritual, spirituality, and mind-body integration with you. Notice breath, posture, tactile sensation, subtle aroma, and ambient sound. Each sensory cue guides attention inward, slowing thought, calming the mind, and harmonizing body, mind, and spirit. Ritual, reflection, and sensory engagement are companions on the timeless journey of wellness, connecting us to ancient wisdom and the holistic practices that have nurtured human health across civilizations. In the next chapter, we will explore tools, instruments, and early medical devices in ancient healing, examining how early civilizations crafted instruments to support therapeutic care, preventive wellness, and reflective sensory engagement. As we move gently from the reflective world of ritual, spirituality, and mind-body integration, let us now turn our attention to the quiet ingenuity of early civilizations, the tools, instruments, and devices they created to assist in healing, to restore balance, and to support both preventive care and therapeutic practice. Imagine a softly lit workshop, courtyard, or healing chamber where the faint scent of herbs mingles with warmed metals, polished wood, and carved stone. Sunlight filters through narrow windows or openings, illuminating the glint of carefully shaped instruments, the smooth texture of stone mortars, and the subtle aroma of oils and resins that coat them. In these spaces, every object is designed with intention, precision, and a deep understanding of the body, senses, and the processes of healing. In ancient Egypt, tools and instruments were intimately connected with both practical treatment and ritualized care. Picture a small, quiet chamber where bronze or copper instruments lie neatly on a linen cloth. Scalpels, probes, and forceps are carefully shaped, their surfaces smooth and cool under fingers, each edge and curve designed for specific tasks. The healer selects tools with deliberate attention, feeling the subtle weight and balance in the hand. Softly scented oils and ointments are applied to the instruments or the patient's body, engaging tactile and olfactory senses in preparation for treatment. Stone mortars and pestles, textured and cool, are used to grind herbs, resins, and minerals, releasing aromas that engage the senses while preparing compounds for application. Even the act of handling instruments is meditative. Each motion, touch, and sensory interaction aligns awareness, guiding calm, reflective presence and mindful precision. In Greece, medical instruments were combined with observation, anatomy, and an understanding of the human body. Imagine a quiet courtyard or healing room where wooden and bronze tools rest alongside ceramic bowls of medicinal preparations. Scalpels, tweezers, cupping vessels, and probes lie arranged, each chosen carefully for its function, weight, and balance. The healer observes how instruments feel in hand, the subtle shift of pressure against skin, and the tactile feedback of interaction. Herbal poultices, oils, and compresses are applied in concert with instruments, creating a multisensory experience that engages sight, touch, smell, and sound. The slight scrape of a tool, the soft rustle of cloth, the subtle aroma of a prepared herb mixture. These instruments are not merely functional. They are extensions of sensory awareness and reflective practice, guiding precision while fostering calm, mindfulness, and intentional care. In India, Ayurveda incorporated instruments that complemented herbal and dietary healing, as well as ritual and tactile engagement. Picture a quiet room or courtyard with instruments of wood, metal, and stone resting neatly on a mat. Stone grinders release subtle aromas from crushed herbs. The tactile texture of smooth wood or polished metal tools engages the hand, and small vessels hold warm oils and herbal pastes. Instruments are used not only for physical procedures but also for massage, acupressure, and alignment, engaging subtle sensation and breath. Each action, the gentle application of pressure, the rhythmic movement of a tool, or the preparation of a compound is deliberate, meditative, and reflective, cultivating presence while supporting physical, emotional, and subtle energetic alignment. In China, instruments were closely linked to the flow of qi, acupuncture, moxibustion, and herbal preparation. Imagine a quiet chamber with bamboo boxes of slender needles, metal tools polished to smoothness, ceramic bowls of herbal decoctions, and mats arranged for meditation or treatment. Needles are carefully selected, their slender form cool and smooth under fingertips, guided with deliberate attention to precise points along the body. Moxa sticks emit a subtle, warm aroma, the flicker of flame casting gentle light on the practitioner's hands, while soft sounds of water or wind chimes provide a calming rhythm. The tactile sensation of instruments against skin, the warmth of herbal compresses, and the subtle vibration of energy flow create a multi-sensory experience that aligns mind, body, and energy. Each movement, breath, and placement is intentional, reflective, and meditative, demonstrating the integration of tools, sensory awareness, and spiritual alignment. As we move gently from the reflective world of ritual, spirituality, and mind-body integration, let us now turn our attention to the quiet ingenuity of early civilizations. The tools, instruments, and devices they created to assist in healing, to restore balance, and to support both preventive care and therapeutic practice. Imagine a softly lit workshop, courtyard, or healing chamber where the faint scent of herbs mingles with warmed metals, polished wood, and carved stone. Sunlight filters through narrow windows or openings, illuminating the glint of carefully shaped instruments, the smooth texture of stone mortars, and the subtle aroma of oils and resins that coat them. In these spaces, every object is designed with intention, precision, and a deep understanding of the body, senses, and the processes of healing. In ancient Egypt, tools and instruments were intimately connected with both practical treatment and ritualized care. Picture a small, quiet chamber where bronze or copper instruments lie neatly on a linen cloth. Scalpels, probes, and forceps are carefully shaped, their surfaces smooth and cool under fingers, each edge and curve designed for specific tasks. The healer selects tools with deliberate attention, feeling the subtle weight and balance in the hand. Softly scented oils and ointments are applied to the instruments or the patient's body, engaging tactile and olfactory senses in preparation for treatment. Stone mortars and pestles, textured and cool, are used to grind herbs, resins, and minerals, releasing aromas that engage the senses while preparing compounds for application. Even the act of handling instruments is meditative. Each motion, touch, and sensory interaction aligns awareness, guiding calm, reflective presence and mindful precision. In Greece, medical instruments were combined with observation, anatomy, and an understanding of the human body. Imagine a quiet courtyard or healing room where wooden and bronze tools rest alongside ceramic bowls of medicinal preparations. Scalpels, tweezers, cupping vessels, and probes lie arranged, each chosen carefully for its function, weight, and balance. The healer observes how instruments feel in hand, the subtle shift of pressure against skin, and the tactile feedback of interaction. Herbal poultices, oils, and compresses are applied in concert with instruments, creating a multisensory experience that engages sight, touch, smell, and sound. The slight scrape of a tool, the soft rustle of cloth, the subtle aroma of a prepared herb mixture. These instruments are not merely functional. They are extensions of sensory awareness and reflective practice, guiding precision while fostering calm, mindfulness, and intentional care. In India, Ayurveda incorporated instruments that complemented herbal and dietary healing, as well as ritual and tactile engagement. Picture a quiet room or courtyard with instruments of wood, metal, and stone resting neatly on a mat. Stone grinders release subtle aromas from crushed herbs. The tactile texture of smooth wood or polished metal tools engages the hand, and small vessels hold warm oils and herbal pastes. Instruments are used not only for physical procedures but also for massage, acupressure, and alignment, engaging subtle sensation and breath. Each action, the gentle application of pressure, the rhythmic movement of a tool, or the preparation of a compound is deliberate, meditative, and reflective, cultivating presence while supporting physical, emotional, and subtle energetic alignment. In China, instruments were closely linked to the flow of qi, acupuncture, moxibustion, and herbal preparation. Imagine a quiet chamber with bamboo boxes of slender needles, metal tools polished to smoothness, ceramic bowls of herbal decoctions, and mats arranged for meditation or treatment. Needles are carefully selected, their slender form cool and smooth under fingertips, guided with deliberate attention to precise points along the body. Moxa sticks emit a subtle, warm aroma, the flicker of flame casting gentle light on the practitioner's hands, while soft sounds of water or wind chimes provide a calming rhythm. The tactile sensation of instruments against skin, the warmth of herbal compresses, and the subtle vibration of energy flow create a multi-sensory experience that aligns mind, body, and energy. Each movement, breath, and placement is intentional, reflective, and meditative, demonstrating the integration of tools, sensory awareness, and spiritual alignment. In Mesopotamia, instruments were carefully crafted for both practical and ritual purposes. Imagine a small chamber where bronze and clay tools rest on woven mats, alongside mortar and pestle for grinding herbs and minerals. Each instrument is selected with awareness, the smooth coolness of metal, the subtle weight in hand, and the tactile feedback of use create reflective engagement. Water, oils, and herbal preparations accompany instruments, producing sense and tactile experiences that calm the mind and enhance presence. Ritual gestures, chants, and structured sequences of care accompany tool use, transforming practical treatment into meditative, sensory-rich healing. Instruments serve not only as physical aids but also as conduits for reflection, awareness, and alignment of body, mind, and spirit. Even in tribal and nomadic societies, simple tools and natural implements supported health and restoration. Picture a forest clearing or tent where smooth stones, wooden implements, animal bones, and herbal pouches are carefully prepared. Each object, soft to the touch, familiar in weight and shape, is used to apply pressure, massage, or manipulate herbal preparations. The gentle texture of natural materials, the aroma of crushed herbs, and the warmth of applied poultices engage tactile, olfactory, and thermal senses. Even the simple act of preparing or handling these tools is meditative, aligning attention, breath, and subtle awareness. Healing in these societies is holistic. Sensory engagement, reflective attention, and practical tool use converge to support mind-body integration and preventive care. Across civilizations, common principles emerge. Instruments and tools were not merely functional. They were extensions of sensory awareness, reflective mindfulness, and meditative practice. Handling, observing, and using tools engaged touch, weight, temperature, texture, and even sound. Preparation of herbs, ointments, or oils created subtle aromas that guided breath and attention. The intentionality of each gesture, placing a tool, grinding herbs, applying pressure, supported calm, reflective awareness while enhancing the efficacy of treatment. Ancient healers understood that instruments are not separate from healing. They are part of an integrated, multisensory, meditative approach that aligns body, mind, and spirit. Modern parallels can be found in massage tools, acupuncture needles, therapeutic devices, and sensory-focused medical procedures. Even the tactile experience of handling instruments, preparing remedies, or observing precise movements engages reflective awareness and multi-sensory integration. Ancient wisdom reminds us that tools are not merely functional. They are companions in the meditative, reflective journey of healing, guiding precision, presence, and holistic restoration. Imagine yourself now in a quiet chamber, mat or garden handling smooth instruments, feeling the coolness of metal or wood, inhaling the subtle aroma of herbs, observing tactile and thermal sensation. Each movement, placement, or gentle touch becomes a meditative act, aligning breath, attention, and subtle awareness. Tools and instruments guide reflection, mindfulness, and restorative care, supporting the integration of body, mind, and spirit in the timeless pursuit of wellness. From Egyptian chambers and Greek courtyards to Indian Ayurvedic spaces, Chinese treatment rooms, Mesopotamian workshops and tribal clearings, instruments and tools were integral to multisensory, reflective, and holistic healing. Handling, observing, and using instruments engaged sight, touch, sound, and smell, supporting physical restoration while cultivating presence, calm, and meditative awareness. Modern therapeutic devices continue this legacy, illustrating the timeless understanding that tools are more than functional. They are instruments of mindfulness, restorative care, and mind-body integration. As we conclude this chapter, carry the awareness of tools, instruments, and tactile engagement within you. Notice subtle sensations of touch, temperature, texture, and weight. Observe breath, posture, and reflective attention as you mentally handle instruments, prepare remedies, or imagine gentle applications. Each sensory cue guides awareness inward, slows thought, relaxes muscles, and harmonizes body, mind, and spirit. Tools, instruments, and early medical devices are companions on the enduring journey of wellness, connecting us to ancient wisdom, reflective practice, and holistic health that spans civilizations and centuries. In the next chapter, we will explore healing in communal and family contexts in ancient civilizations, understanding how shared practices, care networks, and intergenerational knowledge supported preventive health, emotional balance, and reflective wellness. As we move gently from the intimate, tactile world of tools and instruments, let us now enter the warm and interconnected domain of communal and family healing. Imagine a sunlit courtyard, a small village, or a simple home where the gentle murmur of conversation mingles with the aroma of herbs, the soft rustle of textiles, and the distant rhythm of water or animals. In ancient civilizations, healing was never solely an individual pursuit. It was woven into the fabric of family, community, and social life. From shared kitchens and gardens to communal baths, temples and courtyards, care, nourishment, and wellness were collective, integrating social, emotional, and sensory dimensions. In ancient Egypt, family and community were central to both preventive and restorative health. Picture a small household where mothers, fathers, and children gather around a mat or low table. Herbs, grains, and fruits are prepared together. The tactile sensation of chopping vegetables, grinding grains, and crushing herbs engaging touch, sound, and aroma. Elders guide younger members, demonstrating techniques for massage, poultices, or herbal remedies. The warmth of sun through latticed windows illuminates soft linen mats and woven baskets, creating an atmosphere of calm and attentive presence. Healing is collaborative. The patient participates, family members support, and the senses are fully engaged. Visual patterns of herbs, the aroma of fresh plants, tactile warmth of hands-on care, and the subtle sounds of soft guidance. Through this multisensory environment, wellness is nurtured not only in the body but in social bonds, emotional support, and reflective presence. In Greece, communal healing extended into temples, gymnasia, and courtyards where knowledge, practice, and observation were shared. Imagine a sun-dappled courtyard where patients, students, and healers gather. Herbal preparations are made in shared bowls, oils are mixed and applied collectively, and simple movements or stretches are performed in unison, guided by attentive observation. The tactile sensation of smooth stones, the subtle aroma of herbs, and the warmth of shared presence create a layered sensory experience. Observing one another, assisting in preparation, and engaging in gentle touch fosters reflective attention, empathy, and alignment of mind and body. Healing in this context is social as well as physical, teaching that wellness is intertwined with shared awareness, cooperative practice, and the nurturing of emotional and social bonds. In India, Ayurveda and family-oriented healing emphasized intergenerational knowledge and shared practice. Picture a quiet courtyard at sunrise mats arranged for gentle yoga sequences, herbal oils laid out for massage, and herbal teas steeping nearby. Parents and elders guide children in simple routines, gentle stretches, observation of breath, application of oils, and preparation of nourishing foods. The tactile warmth of herbal oils, the aroma of fresh plants, and the subtle coolness of mats engage the senses, reinforcing attention and mindfulness. Ritualized routines, daily schedules, and shared observation of body and breath cultivate reflective calm and emotional balance. Healing becomes both a sensory and social experience, embedding preventive care and restorative wellness into the rhythm of family life and communal interaction. In China, communal and family healing was integrated with traditional practices, environmental awareness, and daily life. Imagine a quiet courtyard where family members gather around mats, bowls of medicinal decoctions, and baskets of herbs and grains. Gentle stretches, acupressure, or qi exercises are performed together. The tactile sensation of mats beneath bodies, the warmth of herbal compresses, and the subtle scent of infused oils engaging multiple senses. Elders guide younger members, demonstrating careful placement of hands, movement sequences, or preparation of teas and poultices. Conversations are soft, rhythmical, and reflective, harmonizing with the sensory environment. Healing becomes a shared journey combining observation, touch, and sensory awareness with social bonds, emotional support, and reflective presence. In Mesopotamia, communal healing occurred in households, temples, and small settlements. Picture a courtyard or chamber where family members and healers gather. Herbs are ground and mixed, oils applied, and supportive gestures extended. The tactile engagement of preparation, the warmth of hands, the subtle aroma of resins and plants, and the soft murmur of guidance create a multi-sensory environment. Healing is holistic, encompassing body, mind, and spirit, and social interaction reinforces emotional balance, reflective calm, and a sense of safety. Even minor acts, handing a bowl, guiding a movement, or observing breath, become tools of collective wellness, integrating sensory, social, and reflective dimensions of care. Even in tribal and nomadic societies, communal healing was essential for survival, resilience, and emotional balance. Imagine a forest clearing or tent where a group gathers around a fire or sunlit space. The tactile warmth of mats or blankets, the aroma of crushed herbs or smoke, and the soft rhythm of conversation or chants create a grounding environment. Elders, healers, or shamans guide participants in preparing remedies, performing gentle massage, or observing breath and subtle sensations. Sharing food, water, and medicinal preparations integrates nutrition with care, while rhythmic movement, touch, and shared observation cultivate reflective calm. The senses are fully engaged, attention is guided inward, and the social bond reinforces emotional, physical, and spiritual wellness. Healing is both practical and meditative, rooted in collective presence and interdependent care. Across civilizations, common principles emerge. Healing in communal and family contexts engages sight, touch, smell, taste, and sound, creating a multisensory environment that nurtures reflective awareness, emotional balance, and physical restoration. Knowledge is transmitted intergenerationally, and shared practice fosters empathy, patience, and attentive presence. Even the simple act of preparing food, grinding herbs, applying poultices, or assisting with massage becomes a sensory-rich, meditative practice, reinforcing social bonds and integrating wellness into daily life. Families and communities are not passive participants. They are active contributors to the reflective, multisensory process of healing. Modern parallels echo these ancient practices. Family routines, group meditation, shared nutrition, and cooperative wellness activities cultivate both sensory engagement and emotional presence. Observing subtle tactile sensations, aromas, visual patterns, and sounds during communal care fosters reflective awareness, mindfulness, and calm, Ancient civilizations remind us that healing is not merely individual. It is social, collaborative, and deeply connected to shared presence, observation, and sensory integration. Imagine yourself now in a quiet courtyard or sunlit room, surrounded by gentle presence, soft, tactile sensation beneath hands and feet, subtle aromas in the air, and soft voices or sounds guiding attention inward. Each movement, gesture, or shared act becomes a reflective and meditative practice. Preparing, observing, or assisting in care aligns breath, attention, and subtle energy. Healing in communal and family contexts is both sensory and social, a dance of touch, sight, sound, and reflective presence that cultivates calm, integration, and resilience. From Egyptian households and Greek courtyards to Indian Ayurvedic spaces, Chinese family practices, Mesopotamian chambers, and tribal clearings, communal and family healing illustrates the multisensory, reflective, and social nature of wellness. Touch, aroma, sight, sound, and taste are all engaged in collective care, while observation, guidance, and shared practice reinforce alignment of body, mind, and spirit. The ancients understood that healing is most profound when it is shared, when sensory awareness and reflective attention are intertwined with social bonds, emotional presence, and intergenerational knowledge. As we conclude this chapter, carry the awareness of communal and family healing with you. Notice subtle sensations, social presence, shared attention, and reflective observation. Each sensory cue guides breath, posture, and inward awareness. Healing becomes a shared journey, integrating body, mind, spirit, and social connection in the timeless practice of reflective, multisensory wellness. In the next chapter, we will explore the legacy of ancient healing practices and their influence on modern wellness, connecting the wisdom of past civilizations to contemporary practices that continue to nurture body, mind, and spirit. As we drift gently from the interconnected world of communal and family healing, let us now turn our attention to the enduring legacy of ancient healing practices and the profound ways in which they continue to shape modern wellness. Imagine a quiet study or sanctuary where sunlight filters through windows, illuminating shelves filled with texts, scrolls, and small instruments, artifacts from civilizations long past. The air carries faint aromas of dried herbs, polished wood, and subtle oils, as if time itself lingers here. In this contemplative space, we can reflect on the wisdom of the ancients and the echoes of their practices in contemporary life. Ancient civilizations, from Egypt and Greece to India, China, Mesopotamia, and tribal societies, developed intricate systems of health and healing that integrated physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. Their observations of the body, mind, and environment were deeply attuned to sensory awareness, reflective practice, and empirical experimentation. In Egypt, for example, the preparation of herbal remedies, massage oils, and poultices not only addressed physical ailments but also engaged touch, smell, and visual perception. These practices emphasized balance, rhythm, and mindful attention, recognizing that wellness is an intricate dance of sensory, mental, and energetic alignment. In Greece, the foundations of modern medicine were laid through careful observation of the body, diet, exercise, and lifestyle. Healing was closely intertwined with philosophy and reflective thought. Imagine walking through a sunlit courtyard where physicians taught students to observe the subtle changes in skin tone, posture, and pulse. Herbal remedies, poultices, and massage were applied with deliberate awareness, while dialogue, observation, and reflection cultivated mental clarity and emotional balance. The Greeks understood that the mind and body are inseparable and that sensory engagement, touch, sight, smell, and even sound, is central to holistic healing. This awareness of interconnection continues to influence modern approaches to wellness, from holistic medicine to mindfulness practices. In India, Ayurvedic traditions emphasize the rhythms of nature, circadian cycles, and the balance of doshas. Imagine a quiet courtyard at sunrise, mats arranged for gentle yoga, herbal oils lined up, and the aroma of fresh spices permeating the air. Each action, preparing remedies, applying oils, performing meditative movement, engages the senses while fostering reflective calm. The principles of Ayurveda emphasizing preventive care, dietary balance, mental clarity, and sensory awareness continue to inform contemporary wellness practices such as yoga, meditation, and integrative health. Ancient knowledge of seasonal rhythms, subtle energy flows, and sensory engagement provides a framework that modern practices still draw upon to promote holistic balance. In China, traditional Chinese medicine, TCM, emphasized the flow of qi, yin and yang balance, and the interconnectedness of body, mind, and environment. Picture a quiet room with mats for gentle exercises, bowls of medicinal herbs, and slender acupuncture needles glinting softly in filtered sunlight. Sensory engagement, touching instruments, inhaling subtle herbal aromas, observing movement, listening to soft gongs, enhanced reflective awareness, and facilitated restorative processes. These principles, observation, sensory awareness, and holistic integration, are foundational to contemporary practices like acupuncture, qigong, tai chi, and herbal therapy. They remind us that wellness is not isolated to physical symptoms, but is deeply interwoven with mental, spiritual, and sensory experience. Mesopotamian healing practices also left a lasting imprint, combining practical remedies with spiritual and ritual care. Imagine a quiet chamber where herbs are ground, oils blended, and rituals performed. The tactile engagement with ingredients, the aroma of resins and herbs, and the visual symbolism of ritual spaces guided attention inward and fostered reflective calm. Modern herbal medicine, ritual-based wellness practices, and the integration of environmental and sensory awareness in therapy echo these ancient principles, demonstrating the continuity of knowledge across millennia. Even in tribal and nomadic societies, healing practices were deeply integrated with daily life, social bonds, and environmental awareness. Imagine a clearing under a canopy of leaves, a gentle stream flowing nearby, and the scent of crushed herbs filling the air. Touch, sound, smell, and communal presence were central to restorative care, emphasizing mindfulness, reflective awareness, and emotional balance. Modern nature-based therapies, forest bathing, and holistic wellness practices carry forward these principles, highlighting the timeless importance of multisensory engagement and social connection in promoting health. Across civilizations, common threads emerge that continue to influence modern wellness: intentional sensory engagement, reflective mindfulness, holistic integration of body, mind, and spirit, preventive care, and the interweaving of social and familial support. Ancient practices remind us that wellness is not merely the absence of disease, but the presence of balance, awareness, and harmony. Observing breath, posture, tactile sensation, aroma, sound, and visual cues remains as vital today as it was thousands of years ago, guiding restorative practices and reflective presence. Modern wellness movements, including yoga, meditation, acupuncture, herbal medicine, massage therapy, mindful nutrition, and integrative medicine, all draw upon these ancient principles. Imagine participating in a gentle yoga session, feeling the texture of mats beneath hands and feet, the subtle warmth of sunlight on skin, the aroma of essential oils, and the sound of breath or soft music. These sensory experiences are a direct continuation of ancient practices, guiding reflection, presence, and alignment of body and mind. Even contemporary mindfulness and therapeutic techniques echo the holistic, multisensory, and socially aware approaches of our ancestors. Consider the simple act of preparing herbal tea. The tactile sensation of crushing leaves, the aroma released, the warmth of the cup in hands, and the mindful observation of the steam rising, all echo ancient healing rituals. Modern sleep hygiene, stress management, preventive nutrition, and mind-body therapies reflect these principles in everyday practice. By engaging senses, attention, and reflective awareness, Wellness is cultivated in the continuity of human experience, connecting the past with the present in subtle, restorative ways. Healing in modern contexts, whether in homes, clinics, or community spaces, continues to rely on multisensory awareness, reflective attention, and holistic integration. Imagine a quiet room where instruments are prepared, herbs are blended, or gentle movements are guided. The tactile sensation of tools, the aroma of medicinal plants, the soft sounds of reflective guidance, and the visual organization of space all support mindful presence. This is the enduring legacy of ancient healing, integrating sensory, physical, mental, spiritual, and social dimensions into practices that restore balance, nurture vitality, and cultivate reflective calm. As we conclude this chapter, allow yourself to reflect on the continuity of healing wisdom across time. Notice breath, posture, tactile sensation, aroma, sound, and visual cues in your surroundings. Each subtle sensory input can guide attention inward, calming thought, aligning body and mind, and fostering reflective awareness. The legacy of ancient healing invites us to integrate multisensory, holistic, and socially connected practices into our lives, honoring the wisdom of civilizations that observed, reflected, and cared for the whole human experience. From Egyptian chambers and Greek courtyards to Indian Ayurvedic halls, Chinese practice rooms, Mesopotamian spaces, and tribal clearings, the echoes of ancient healing resonate in contemporary wellness practices. The principles of sensory engagement, reflective mindfulness, mind-body integration, preventive care, and social support form a continuous thread connecting past and present. Modern wellness in all its forms continues this legacy, guiding us toward balance, calm, vitality, and the reflective awareness that has nurtured humanity for millennia. In the next chapter, we will explore the culmination of ancient healing knowledge, reflecting on how diet, herbs, rituals, sleep, tools, and communal care interweave into a holistic understanding of human wellness. This final chapter will gently draw together the threads of our journey, offering a serene contemplation of the enduring wisdom of our ancestors. As we gently arrive at the final stage of our journey through the timeless landscapes of ancient healing, allow yourself to settle into a state of calm, letting your body rest comfortably and your mind flow freely, like a river tracing its serene course through valleys and meadows. Imagine, if you will, a quiet sanctuary where the muted glow of early morning sunlight filters softly through latticed windows, casting delicate patterns of light and shadow on stone floors and wooden beams. The air is infused with the faint, lingering scent of crushed herbs, warm oils, and subtle incense, carrying a sense of stillness and reflective tranquility. In this space, we pause to gather together the threads of knowledge, practice, and sensory experience that have been woven across millennia, observing how the wisdom of our ancestors continues to resonate with modern life. From the earliest civilizations, healing was understood as an integrated process, one that encompassed body, mind, spirit, and environment. In Egypt, Greece, India, China, Mesopotamia, and across tribal societies, the pursuit of wellness involved observation, reflection, ritual, and a profound attention to sensory details. Imagine the quiet touch of a healer's hand, the weight and texture of instruments in their grasp, the tactile warmth of oils and poultices applied with care, the soft sound of chanting or whispered guidance, and the visual beauty of arranged herbs, instruments, and sacred symbols. Each of these sensory experiences carried meaning, fostering calm, reflection, and alignment of internal energies. Healing was not only a physical endeavor, it was a deeply meditative, immersive, and socially interconnected practice. Throughout our exploration, we have witnessed the remarkable variety of methods employed by ancient cultures to nurture wellness. Herbal remedies, dietary routines, massage, ritual gestures, meditation, and careful observation of the natural world were all employed with intention and subtle artistry. Picture, for instance, a quiet courtyard in India at sunrise, the gentle rustle of leaves in a morning breeze, mats laid carefully for yoga and meditation, bowls of aromatic herbs releasing their fragrance into the warm air, the soft murmur of water from a nearby fountain, the tactile warmth of oil pressed into the skin, and the reflective awareness of breath and movement together create a space of profound calm, embodying the principles of wellness that have persisted across time. Similarly, in ancient China, practitioners observed the flow of qi, employing acupuncture, moxibustion, and gentle movement to harmonize the body's energies. Imagine slender needles glinting softly in filtered light, the subtle warmth of moxa on the skin, and the quiet sound of breath and whispered guidance. Each sensation, the tactile feedback of instruments, the aroma of herbs, the visual precision of placement, and the gentle auditory cues supports reflective attention, cultivating awareness of subtle energies while fostering relaxation and alignment. These practices remind us that wellness is a dance between the tangible and the intangible, between physical sensation and subtle meditative consciousness. In Mesopotamia, healing blended practical remedies with ritualized spiritual practice. Picture a chamber with softly lit oil lamps, the smooth texture of stone mortars under the fingers, and the faint scent of crushed herbs mingling with the warm, earthy aroma of resins. The rhythmic sound of grinding, the visual symmetry of prepared compounds, and the tactile engagement of hands on materials create a multi-sensory, meditative environment. Healing was holistic, integrating body, mind, spirit, and social presence, reminding us that attentive awareness and sensory engagement have always been fundamental to human wellness. Even in the communal and familial spaces of ancient societies, wellness was a shared, socially embedded experience. Imagine the soft warmth of a mother's hand guiding a child through gentle stretches, the subtle aroma of a shared herbal preparation, and the sound of soft conversation or instruction in a courtyard bathed in sunlight. Touch, scent, sight, and sound all converge to create a reflective, multisensory environment that fosters emotional balance, social cohesion, and attentive care. Healing was thus not solitary, it was a collaborative process, extending awareness outward as well as inward, integrating the individual into the rhythms of family and community. Modern parallels to these ancient practices are all around us, from yoga studios to wellness clinics, meditation spaces, holistic nutrition practices, mindfulness exercises. Imagine participating in a guided session, feeling the texture of mats beneath your hands and feet, inhaling subtle aromas, listening to the calm rhythm of soft guidance, and observing your own breath and posture. These experiences are direct continuations of the principles we have explored: sensory engagement, reflective mindfulness, holistic integration, and social or guided presence. Even in contemporary life, the ancient wisdom of integrating body, mind, spirit, and environment continues to guide us toward balance, vitality, and calm. Reflecting upon the legacy of ancient healing, we can also observe how deeply humans have always been attuned to cycles, rhythm, and nature. The ancients understood the importance of observing the seasons, the flow of water, the rhythms of day and night, and the subtleties of environmental change. Picture a quiet dawn, the gentle warmth of the sun on skin, the soft sound of wind through trees, or the subtle fragrance of morning dew and blooming herbs. Attending to these natural cues, integrating them into daily routines of nourishment, movement, and reflection was as much a part of ancient wellness as herbs, rituals, or tools. Modern practices such as mindful nature walks, forest bathing, or seasonal nutrition echo this enduring awareness, connecting sensory perception with holistic well-being. In this final reflection, let us also honor the continuity of knowledge across generations. Across millennia, wisdom was transmitted through observation, oral instruction, apprenticeship, communal practice, and ritual. Imagine a quiet courtyard or home where an elder guides a younger family member in preparing remedies, performing gentle massage, or observing movement and breath. The tactile warmth of touch, the aroma of herbs, the soft murmur of guidance, and the visual rhythm of arranged materials all contribute to a rich, multisensory environment for learning, reflection, and restoration. In this way, wellness is not only a personal experience but a shared, intergenerational journey that cultivates empathy, patience, and attentive presence. As we conclude, allow yourself to rest in this reflective space. Notice breath, posture, subtle tactile sensations, the gentle weight of your body, and the soft rhythm of internal awareness. Imagine the warmth of sunlight or lamplight on your skin, the faint aroma of herbs or oils in the air, and the calm, meditative sounds that envelop this quiet sanctuary. Each sensory detail guides attention inward, slowing thought, calming the mind, and harmonizing body, mind, and spirit. Across civilizations, the principles of ancient healing converge into a coherent vision of holistic wellness. Attentive observation, reflective mindfulness, sensory engagement, communal and familial care, ritual, spirituality, preventive practice, and integration of mind, body, and environment. Imagine carrying these principles with you, feeling the alignment of breath, posture, attention, and subtle sensory awareness as you move gently through daily life. This is the enduring gift of ancient healing, a guide for balance, calm, and reflective restoration that transcends time and culture. From Egyptian temples to Greek courtyards, Indian Ayurvedic halls, Chinese treatment rooms, Mesopotamian chambers, and tribal clearings, the wisdom of our ancestors reminds us that wellness is more than the absence of illness. It is the presence of balance, attentiveness, sensory awareness, reflective mindfulness, emotional harmony, and social connection. Modern wellness practices continue to draw upon these insights, demonstrating that the journey of healing is timeless, universal, and deeply human. As we rest together in this final chapter, allow the imagery, scents, sounds, and reflective awareness we have explored to gently guide you into a state of calm and restorative presence. Feel the continuity of human wisdom across time, carrying with you the understanding that each breath, movement, touch, and sensory observation is part of a greater, holistic pattern of wellness. Let the calm flow through body, mind, and spirit, connecting you to the enduring legacy of healing practices that have nurtured humanity for millennia. And with this, our journey through the ancient world of healing comes to a serene close. Carry these reflections with you into sleep, into rest, and into the gentle rhythm of life, knowing that the wisdom of the ancients remains alive in every mindful breath, every reflective gesture, and every sensory moment. As our journey through the world of ancient healing draws to a close, let us take a quiet moment to simply breathe and be present. Imagine yourself surrounded by the soft warmth of sunlight, the gentle rustle of leaves, or the faint fragrance of herbs lingering in the air. Across centuries and continents, people sought balance, calm, and restoration through observation, touch, ritual, and mindful attention. Their wisdom reminds us that healing is not only physical, but a gentle alignment of body, mind, spirit, and environment. Carry with you the awareness of breath, the subtle sensations of touch, the soft sounds around you, and the quiet rhythm of thought. Let the calmness of this reflection settle deeply, like water gently filling a serene pool. The practices, rituals, and care of our ancestors continue to guide us, encouraging presence, mindfulness, and the understanding that wellness is a gentle, ongoing journey. Rest now in this moment, allowing the quiet legacy of ancient healing to soothe and restore you. And as sleep gently comes, know that you are connected to a long, unbroken chain of reflective, mindful, and restorative human care, stretching across time and space.